from Omaha's news leader. This is KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
When it comes to industries that contribute the most to Nebraska in gross domestic product, manufacturing is second only to finance and insurance. In Iowa, advanced manufacturing is the state's largest industry. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob McCartney. Well, this is Manufacturing Month, a time to focus on the needs of businesses that turn raw materials into finished products, getting students excited about those careers. Well, that's what we're looking at today on Chronicle, the need for workers. Because the latest numbers from the middle of this year show Nebraska faces a significant and persistent shortage of skilled trade workers. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Nebraska Department of Labor show there are consistently more job openings than qualified candidates, and that's creating a difficult hiring market for employers. That's why Governor Jim Pillen signed an executive order launching the Good Life, Great Careers initiative. It aims to establish and clear pathways for Nebraskans to access thriving and stable careers in the trades, especially youth.
I don't know how many different meetings since I've been your governor that I've had with K-12 educators. Every superintendent has said, Jim, we've blown it the last 25 years. We've been so focused. We've been so focused on ACT and SAT scores that we forgot about workforce. We forgot about the trades.
You know, the governor says apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships are some of the best ways to create these pathways to successful careers across our extraordinary state. The goal is to add 6,000 new registered active apprentices in Nebraska by the end of the year of 2030. That's where Metropolitan Community College comes in. Its trades program works with companies that face a shortage of workers and are willing to sponsor the education of students interested in careers in the trades. So joining me now is Pathway Coordinator Jim Champion. Jim, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
First off, just real quick, why is demand for workers so high?
You know, we've all heard about the retirements that are going on in the trades. So there's a lot of people that are closer to my age that are maybe starting to get closer to retiring. And we kind of had a lost generation in there where we didn't have trades in the high schools, for example, where they were doing a lot of training. So we're kind of behind the eight ball a little bit with some of the training that needs to be done now to catch up for the past several decades.
And that's where you come in. And so explain to me how Pathways works.
Well, with Metro Community College, we work with industry partners in the area doing what we call sponsorship type of programs. So in a sponsorship program, an industry partner is bringing in someone at more of an entry-level position, and then they bring them on board either part-time or full-time with the company, and then they pay for all their training at Metro going forward to get them up to that skilled level that they need to be at. Because the truth is, there's just not as many people out there, even if they have job opportunities that they post, the number of people that maybe apply that have that skill set just aren't there like they used to be. So they need to create their own workforce.
Gotcha. Are there a lot of businesses that do this?
Yeah, there's quite a number of businesses that are doing it now. So they found it to be a good way to actually recruit people and then train them and retain them. Because what people like to see is that the company's investing in them. So when they go to work for the company, in many cases, they do sign a contractual agreement that they're going to work for the company, after they're done with their training for a period of time, which is fair. But the companies really have found that they don't even need that in place many times because somebody is just so grateful that they're investing in them that they're happy to work there.
So what's the benefit for the student?
The student, clearly, they can get all of their training and get a career started at no cost in most cases. So the student comes on board with the company, and again, they work part-time or full-time with the company and go to Metro either part-time or full-time. Company pays for everything. And the student, when they're going to Metro, they're learning in the classes, but then they go immediately on the job and they're applying what they learned at school on the job. They learn so much better in that sort of environment where they're applying what they do every day in school immediately on the job.
Nice. And what kind of careers are we talking? What kind of trades are we talking?
It goes across the board. We started off on our South Omaha campus with mostly manufacturing and automotive, but that has been so successful that we now have someone at the Fort Omaha campus as well working with all the construction-related trades. So the sponsorship programs are growing across the board.
How do companies work with Metro Community College to promote the trades? How does that whole setup work? Do they come to you? Do you go to them?
You know, we've found that it's a little of both.
Okay.
But we have found that industry, especially in the Omaha area, well, in the 4-county area that we serve, industry is eager to get in there and work with the students and with Metro Community College. So it's not like pulling teeth to get them to come and be a part of what we're trying to do at Metro. They're like, what can we do? How can we reach high school students? We want to get our message out to students at the youngest age we can to tell them about these career choices so that even when they get into high school, they start taking classes that are maybe associated with the career choice that they're thinking about doing, at least trying it out to see if they like it. But industry is just really, really involved with Metro in a variety of ways.
What kind of people, what kind of students are you looking for? I mean, some kids may be, I'm going to go to a 4-year college no matter what.
Right, right. Well, we definitely want, I'm an example. You know, I wanted to work with my hands. When I got out of high school, I went to Metro Community College and actually got into the collision program. And that was my career, really, was in the automotive field. So I found that once I started taking classes that were more related to something I was interested in, I became a better student. I became more engaged. I was working with my hands. So we want to identify those students early on and get them trying those things in high school whenever possible.
What has the response been?
It's been great. The good news is, again, decades ago, maybe it was just 4-year college and all that sort of thing at the high schools. The counselors, they were really pushing that forward. I've really seen a change over the past even 5 to 8 years where high school counselors, parents, everybody, it's kind of becoming way more popular to at least talk about going into the trades. People are finding that it's a well-paid career, usually, you know, in the trades. But you got to be a certain type of person too to go into the trades. It's not just like, hey, I want to go do XYZ for a job because I heard they make a lot of money. Our industry partners expect you to be, you know, a responsible person, a self-starter, you know, a motivated person, a team player. That's what it really takes in the trades to be successful, to have those attributes. But I think a lot of students really do have those attributes.
You know, what happens if you don't get more people involved? I mean, what happens? Do we backslide into where that missed generations you were talking about?
Yes, I would think we would. But the good news is we are involved, and we are aggressively trying some really outside the box type of ideas. And you know what? A lot of them are working. So the good news is, rather than getting into a position where it's really, we're in trouble, where we don't have enough people in the trades, it's great to work with industry and the college to really brainstorm. You know, we have advisory committee meetings with all of our different trades constantly throughout the year, where they come in and they tell us, here's what we're looking for. Here's the type of training we need. You know, here's what we don't need you to teach anymore.
Right.
We're constantly getting that from our industry partners. So being proactive like that is one way to make sure that we don't get into that.
Yeah, because the economy keeps changing, the society keeps changing.
Totally.
Different needs. And so how does somebody get on the pathway? What do they do? How do they get on this?
Well, the biggest thing is just to reach out to us at Metro Community College. And I would encourage people to go to mccneb.edu and then go to our programs of study page, because it's just program after program after program, not only trade related, but all of our programs. And then you can really drill down, because we have career certificates that you can earn within 9 months, full associate degrees. So really people can get training and get going in a relatively short time frame, and especially get on board then with an industry partner, get your career started, and then maybe more training down the road.
Do you wish there was something like this available when you were in high school?
For sure, absolutely, yes. So really, if anybody wants to get into the trades, the opportunities are endless. And to me, they've never been better.
Very good. Jim, I appreciate you coming in today. Love
Absolutely,
the program.
thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Well, coming up next on KATV News Watch 7's Chronicle, they came for lunch and learning and proved again that women in the trades aren't just breaking glass ceilings, they're welding steel ones. Plus, the manufacturing company executive who says grit and greatness go together.